Magome is a post station on the Nakasendo route in Nakatsugawa City, Gifu Prefecture, and is the southernmost of the Kiso 11 post stations and is a popular tourist destination. At the end of the Edo period, there were a total of 69 houses, including 1 honjin, 1 waki honjin, and 18 inns. The old Nakasendo road is made up of cobblestone pavement with an atmosphere of elegance, and with souvenir shops lining both sides, it attracts many tourists. Minamoto no Yoshinaka's half-sister, by Minamoto no Yoritomo, who was adopted by Hojo Masako and founded the Kamakura shogunate. It seems that there is also the grave of Kikuhime on the outskirts of Magome. It feels like Magome is in the middle of a slope. There are many free parking lots at Sakashita, so I will introduce them to you from Sakashita. There are many restaurants and souvenir shops in this area, making it the starting point. It is said that all the Magome buildings were destroyed by fire twice, in 1895 and 1915. Therefore, although the current building was later rebuilt as a tourist spot, the nameplate is said to be the name of the landlord who lived there at the end of the Edo period. The stone pavement has been around since the Edo period. As you climb further, you will see houses lined up on both sides of the slope that becomes Nakasendo. By the way, it is said that Tomomi Iwakura's rickshaw, which accompanied the Meiji Emperor Miyuki in 1899, crashed into a house while descending the Magome slope. Magome Honjin, located in Magome is also the birthplace of Tosin Shimazaki, who was born in 1872. This Magome Honjin also has the Tosin Memorial Museum, which can be visited for a fee. The Shimazaki clan is said to be part of the Miura clan, whose name can be seen as a vassal of Kiso during the Sengoku period. During the Edo period, the Shimazaki clan was in charge of the headquarters of Tsumago Juku. It is said that at the end of the Edo period, when the imperial princess Kazunomiya entered Edo Castle as a bride, the line was extremely long. The house of Tosin Shimazaki, who wrote the novel Before Dawn, which begins with Kisoji is all in the mountains, has also been selected as a Japanese heritage site. Kisoji is all in the mountains, protecting the mountains. Living in the mountains. It was done. Regarding access and directions to Magome, if you take the train from JR Nakatsugawa Station, take the Kitana Kotsu bus Magome line bound for Ochiai, Magome from platform 3. And it will take 25 minutes until the final stop. Get off at Magome bus stop. From Tsumago Juku, it's about 10 kilometers by car and takes about 20 minutes, crossing Magome Pass, which has many curves. The 9 kilometers course from Magome Juku to Tsumago Juku, which follows the old Nakasendo over Magome Pass at an altitude of 801 meters, is gradually becoming popular. Walking along Nakasendo will take about 3 hours. Tourist information centers and other locations also provide baggage storage services for Magome Juku to Tsumago Juku, issue completion certificates, and loan bells to protect against bears. The slope between Magome and Magome Pass is steeper than towards Tsumago, but since Magome is higher in elevation, it is easier to hike from Magome to Tsumago. If you are visiting by car, there are 3 buses a day between Tsumago and Magome Kan, and it takes 26 minutes each way, so plan accordingly. If you take a taxi from Tsumago to Magome, it will cost around 3,000 yen. Atsumago, a post town with traces of history, Tsumago, Nakasendo, which connects Edo and Kyoto, was also called the Kiso Road because it passes through the Kiso Road deep in the mountains. Tsumago Juku, the 42nd out of the 69 Nakasendo roads from Edo, has been a bustling hub since ancient times as a transportation hub where Nakasendo and Ina Kaido intersect. Times changed, and with the Meiji era, new railroads and roads were built, and Tsumago Juku, which lost its function as a post station, continued to decline. As the Showa era progressed and the economy grew, the townscape, which still retains the appearance of a post station from the Edo period, was reconsidered. And this was the first time in the country that a preservation movement began. In order to protect the townscape, the people of Tsumago have created 3 principles: do not sell, do not rent, and do not destroy houses and land, and while living here, they have passed down the valuable assets of the Edo period townscape to future generations. Tsumago, located at the southwestern tip of the Kiso Valley, is a village located in a narrow mountain gorge stretching approximately 6 kilometers from north to south. Ran, which flows north through this mountain gorge and flows into the Kiso River, the Araragi River and its tributaries, the small river terraces formed by the Otaru River, and the 1-kilometer-long Tsumago Juku, around 420 meters above sea level, and several other places. There are settlements scattered throughout. Traces of human habitation can be seen in the area of Tsumago since ancient times. Medieval relics have been discovered around Tsumago Juku. As a route of the ancient Kasoro, the ancient Jisu Road opened in 713, over 1297 years ago. This is written in Zoku Nihongi. This is an article about how the Tosando Road at Kamisaka Pass, which was established as a government road in 702, was steep and difficult to pass, and due to changes in the situation in Ichigo Province, the Kichizo Road was developed as a direct route to it. In 1432, the Muromachi Shogunate ordered Mochimas Toki, the Shugo of Mino province, to supply Umaya lumber to Hyogosuke, Tsumago. This is Tsumago's first appearance. It was about 100 years later, in 1533, that the name of the Tsumago clan reappeared in historical documents. In this year, the priest Gensuke of Daigo-ji Temple in Kyoto stayed in Tsumago for one night on his way to Bunei-ji Temple. It is written that the Tsumago clan at that time was a member of the Kiso clan. Juri faces Nakasendo, which is referred to as the Samurai Road in guidebooks for foreigners, and allows you to enjoy conversation and local cuisine in a cheerful atmosphere. We mainly produce our ingredients in-house and prioritize safety and security, which has earned us the support of many repeat customers. Chestnut okawameshi from the mountain pass was highly praised by the Edo period poet Jupin Chaiku. At Juri, we are particular about handmade products, we are particular about homemade products. We are particular about the ingredients, and we offer them with great care. The Tsumago Castle ruins are one of the best remaining mountain castles in Kiso, considering its territory and location. According to records from the Edo period, its origins lie in Kiso Iyanaka and Ayamura. The Battle of Tsumago Castle in 1584 was fought as part of the Battle of Kamaka Nagaku between Toyotomi Hideyoshi and Tokugawa Ieyasu. This was a battle in which military commander Sadadoshi Shuganuma led the armies of Hashina in Takato, Suwa in Suwa, and Ogasawara in Iida to attack Yoshimasa Kiso, who was on Hideyoshi's side. This time, the defender who barricaded himself here was Yoshikatsu Yamamura. Among those who followed Yoshikatsu in this war are the ancestors of village officials in the Nagiso district, including Kanmono Shimazaki, ancestor of the Shimazaki clan in Tsumago and Magome, as well as Maruyama, Hayashi, Katsuno, and Ayuzawa. Tsumago Sakisho is said to have had a checkpoint, guard station, in this area for a long time, as the Takeda clan established a guard station during the Tensho era, 1573 to 1592. This is because this area was located at the crossroads of the ancient Kichizoji and Ina and Hida. Furthermore, when Toyotomi Hideyoshi unified Japan in 1590, he transferred Tokugawa Ieyasu to Edo. And as part of this move, he also transferred Kiso Yoshimasa to Amido, Shimoa Province, present-day Chiba Prefecture. He placed Kiso under his direct control and appointed Mitsuyoshi Ishikawa, the lord of Inuyama Castle, as Kiso magistrate. Mitsuyoshi ruled Kiso based on this Tsumago. During the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600, the Yamamura and Shimura clans were summoned by Tokugawa Ieyasu to serve as vanguards of Hidetada's army as they headed towards Sekigahara along the Higashiyama route and pacified Kiso. They also repaired Tsumago Castle and used it as a base for attacking Mino. It is written that it was at Tsumago Castle that Baba Masatsugu, a member of the Kiso clan, had an audience with Hidetada. A historical document that tells the story of the establishment of Tsumago Juku in early modern times is a handprint written by Kiso Daikin Yamamura Yoshiko, displayed at Nagiso Town Okutani Local Museum, in 1601. Addressed to Rokurozaemon Hayashi of Tsumago. This is a letter in which Ryoko appointed Mr. Hayashi as a half-wholesaler in Tsumago Juku. The project to establish a post station on the Nakasendo Road in Kiso had been underway since early in the 6th year of the Kaicho era, by Nagayasu Okubo, the head of the Tokugawa shogunate, and Yoshiko Yamamura, the Kiso magistrate who received his orders. In the early modern period, Tsumago Juku was 1.5 ri to the neighboring inn, Miru no Juku, on the Edo side, and 2 ri to Magome Juku, the next inn on the Kyoto side. The length of the townscape within the inn is said to be 2 cho and 30 ken, approximately 270 meters. And it seems that it remained unchanged throughout the Edo period. In 1642, Tsumago village, which included Tsumago Juku, Terashita, and Zaisho, had 54 houses and a population of 337, 154 males and 183 females. Of these, there were 30 houses thought to be Hanyakusho, main officials, 17 gatehouses, 3 rented houses, 1 retirement house, and shrines and temples. Inn stations on the Nakasendo Expressway were established for the purpose of resting for official travelers and transporting their cargo and passengers. Throughout the Edo period, Messrs. Shimazaki and Hayashi were in charge of the wholesaler. The person in charge of the inn and station operations, Mr. Shimazaki, worked at the Honjin, which served as a resting facility, and Mr. Hayashi worked at the Wakihonjin, both throughout the Edo period. According to the Daizocho, there were 7 large, 10 middle-sized, and 14 small-sized inns. In addition, there was a tea house with a stick nose at the entrance to the inn, and a tea house with a standing position at a koku tochi. When you think of a post station, you often associate it with a fire. Tsumago Juku is no exception. In fact, many related historical materials remain, including the fire that occurred in 1634. Possible fire prevention facilities include udatsu, high walls, and canals for post stations. Udatsu can still be seen in townscapes and in Atsumago. The water for the post station was as mentioned above, but the high wall was located near the main camp. In addition to the structure of post stations, there was also a fire department. The Tsumago Village Preservation Plan attracted a lot of attention as a pioneering and experimental plan for village preservation, as the issue of preservation and development was arousing much debate. In other words, the idea of expanding the traditional scope of cultural property protection from points to areas and further preserving the landscape or environment as excellent cultural properties has been moved from the ideal stage to the practical stage. This is what I pushed forward with. Due to post-Meiji transportation reforms, Tsumago lost its function as a post town, and there was no industry to be found. In the 1950s, Tsumago experienced a wave of high economic growth, and as young people left the area, it became depopulated and was on the decline. In 1940, the idea of village preservation as part of tourism development was brought up and discussion began. In response to this, the town has taken a proactive stance, gathering the opinions of academics and experts, holding briefing sessions and discussions on village preservation for local residents, and taking steps in the direction of village preservation. I arranged it. In August 1963, the Tsumago Juku Preservation Project was decided to be carried out as one of the prefecture's Meiji 100th anniversary projects. In a 3-year plan starting in 1962, the townhouses were categorized into dismantling, major repairs, medium repairs, and minor repairs. And restoration and landscaping were carried out from the perspective of preserving the historical features of the townhouses. In 1962, local residents established the Tsumago Love Association, and based on the creed of do not sell, do not lend, and do not destroy, the local residents established a conservation project centered on local residents, which was intended for tourist use. They sought to unify their thoughts and confirmed the idea that tourism development in Tsumago can only be achieved by preserving the scenery as a post town, including its natural environment, or as a setting for Fujimura's literature. It was defined as a cultural property and selected as an important preservation district for groups of traditional buildings, 1978. Since then, the landscape of the post town has been preserved as a village in the deep Kiso Valley, along with nature and the highway. The inn facilities have been considerably improved based on the original basic plan. In 1971, in conjunction with Nagano Prefecture's Shinanoji Nature Trail installation plan, we restored some of the cobblestone pavement in the inn, installed signposts, restored the ticket office, installed public toilets on Nakasendo, and installed signboards. The telephone poles inside the inn were moved to the back of the inn throughout the inn with the cooperation of the Japan National Trust, Chubu Electric Power Corporation, and others. Currently, cars are not allowed inside the inn, and there are 4 parking lots for cars and tour buses along National Route 256. Construction of the fire prevention facility was completed in 1978 and 1977 with subsidies from the national and prefectural governments, at a total cost of 100 million yen. A major goal of the conservation project has been achieved. In order to prioritize preservation in all respects, Tsumago residents have adopted a policy of not selling, not renting, and not destroying tourism resources, buildings, mansions, farmland, forests, etc. in Tsumago Juku and along the old Nakasendo. We have decided to adhere to these 3 principles. Even today, the residence's charter is still respected by Tsumago residents. To advance the preservation project, The Tsumago Juku Preservation Foundation was established on February 1, 1981, by residents who had a deep interest in preservation. In 1990, the name was changed to Tsumago Love Association. Took about 3 hours. I met people from Canada, the UK, France, although I live in Hong Kong, the Netherlands, and Australia. There were many relatively elderly couples, and they seemed to be relaxing and enjoying the nature of Kisoji at their own pace. An increasing number of Western walkers are walking the Nakasendo, one of the 5 main roads of the Edo period. In fiscal 2019, April to March 2019, 37,000 foreigners crossed Magome Pass in the 11 months ending in February, more than the previous year. Including domestic customers, there were 55,300 people. So 2 out of 3 people were foreigners. It is said that foreigners began to be seen walking along Magome Pass around 2000. In 2009, the number exceeded 5,000, but in 2016 it exceeded 20,000, finally surpassing the number of Japanese people. Why do so many foreigners, especially Westerners, come to visit Nakasendo? There is a video that can give you a hint. This is a documentary travelogue in which popular British actress Joanna Lumley visits Japan in the BBC travel program Japan as Seen by Joanna Lumley, which aired in 2016. She traveled all over the country, from Hokkaido to Okinawa, and one of those trips was crossing Magome Pass from Tsumago. The approximately 10-minute video, which features scenes from Nakasendo, begins with her looking at an old map of Kisoji, through the scenes of the Edo period road, illustrations of Senkin Kotai, and photographs of Princess Kazunomiya. Why do so many roadwalkers from overseas visit Tsumago today? And why have there been more foreigners than Japanese since 2016? Behind this was an effort to preserve the village that began over 50 years ago. The person leading the way was Toshihiko Kobayashi, 91 years old and a former town hall employee. At that time, Tsumago had already become a marginal village. As we entered a period of high economic growth, golf courses and large inns were being built all over the country, but from that time Mr. Kobayashi believed in the idea of preserving the old things. And, someday, it will become a cultural property. Preserving the villages of post towns that have remained since the Edo period will lead to tourism. However, they should not be turned into museums. They should be left in their original state, Fujiwara said. The chairman says, a variety of initiatives were undertaken to achieve this, but one worth mentioning is the Tsumago Winter University course, a study session led by residents, which was started based on the belief that the understanding and cooperation of residents was necessary. It started in 1977. If you look at the list entitled, History of the Tsumago Winter University Coursen, the commemorative magazine for the 50th anniversary of Tsumago Juku Preservation Project, 2018, you will see how diverse the lectures were, inviting experts from universities and media all over the country. You can see if a lecture on the theme was given. Kobayashi has said that since the 1970s, when there was talk of reforming the Japanese archipelago, if we preserve villages, blue-eyed people will eventually come. The boom in road walking by Westerners was due to Mr. Kobayashi's foresight. What lessons can we learn from this? Inbound efforts are for the survival of the region. Rather than being swayed by the mood of the times, we must remember to discern the essence of things. Translating the essence here to the inbound field. I think it is responding to the question, why do people travel? Another thing I would like to confirm is that walking travel has become a global trend. This can also be said to be the reason why many foreigners visit Nakasendo.